cars qualified for the shootout, but we've got more in the first round coming up. Stay with us.
Brought to you in part by Kicker High Performance Automotive Speakers by Stillwater Designs. Well, Bret, wait till you see what we got coming up next. It's time for a funny car.
This is such a neat vehicle. Drag racing fans out there will remember this car as the 1987 IHRA World Nitro Funny Car Champ. It's been converted to four-wheel drive mud racing. This is Michigan's Mark WATROS, the Michigan Off-Road Center Ford-powered Thunderbird.
Keep your eyes on this one. It screams through the mud racing area. Now watch him. Watch him now. Mark WATROS with that funny car.
Tell you, WATROS actually a little bit lackadaisical about getting on the brakes down there. That was kind of risky. Machine never seemed to get up on top of the mud until about the 30-foot mark. There you see the nose come up. Now, for the rest of the lap, the car was still sinking the right rear tire into the mud pretty solidly. That's where most of the torque was coming from. But it never really got the starting line launch it needed to put down a 1 second elapsed time to keep pace with the leaders. He had to go quicker than 2.36 seconds to get into the quick four, and he does it by 0.06 of a second, Jerry. 2.30 seconds. That'll put him on the bump spot right now.
All right, coming up next, it's going to be the Mud Special. Terry Hicks doing the driving.
This is the way mud racing was quite a while ago. The high center of gravity Jeeps with an extended wheelbase, carbureted Chevy motor underneath the hood. This thing actually runs pretty good. I'm almost concerned about Hicks getting underneath that finish line banner with this thing as high in the air as it is.
Body style sure change. It's a tough time, but he powers his way through.
That's the idea. When you don't have enough horsepower to get right up on the mud immediately, boy, it's going to be a chore getting down to the finish line. Barry Hicks, through sheer determination, makes it. I'll tell you, it looks like he's going to hit the banner there. Sure enough, he ducks his head, and the exhaust pressure from the headers blows it up over it. 3.82 seconds, though, for Hicks. Won't be good enough to get into the quick four shootout. And here's the old man.
The Nitro Express, Clay Langley.
Missouri campaigner with, of all things, a small block Chevrolet engine with an Austin Bantam Roadster body. It's a unique combination.
Might add, Bret, he is not running nitro. He's running alcohol.
That's true. It is an alcohol-burning machine. Still about 10,000 RPM.
And he gets it stopped. Boy, could you see those tires swell.
I'll tell you what, once he got the tire speed up, the machine just didn't have enough traction to keep going. If you look at the starting line area, you'll see how sloppy it's getting, and that's the clay that we've been talking about that is affecting the way these cars launch. Every track in the country, Jerry, is different. You know that better than anybody. Whatever the type of dirt is in the area, that's what they have to race on, and that changes week to week.
That's correct. And you know, when this mud gets wet, it gets almost like a suction. It gets real sticky.
That's true, and it takes even more power to get through it. Langley's 2.89 second won't help him.
All right, coming up next will be Gordon CHESSEY, and he's here with Point Blank. Little pickup truck. Ready to go. Look at the exhaust stacks. He's got them way up in the air. He's going to make sure that nothing happens to them, nothing gets in them. Run.
It actually was, considering that, again, the machine did not get the traction off the starting line that it needed, and I doubt if that'll be good enough to run quicker than 2.30 seconds to get into the quick four. Looking on the left side exhaust area, there was a few misses off the starting line as well. Maybe the engine not running quite up to par. He finally got it up on top of the mud, but by that time he was almost out of distance, so CHESSEY never really had a chance at getting into that quick four program. 3.27 seconds, though. For a brand new ride, not bad at all.
You got a little bit crossed up through the mud there. All right, our next racer coming up. Just passing through.
Rick Baricka has run this fuel-injected Jeep Funny Car quite a few events in the Association National Event Tour this year. When conditions are right, when he gets it hooked up, this thing can run with the best.
Good run. Let's check the time.
That's kind of interesting. I almost think that Brickeye may have gone out there and left the starting line easy so he didn't spin this tire so hard, but then he ran into the problem of not having enough power to get through the pit anywhere near quick enough to be a part of that four-car shootout that will determine the winner. Also heading over towards the right-hand side berm there, he did some steering down near the finish line area. He had to go quicker than 2.30 seconds to get into the quick four. And there you see fire out of the injector down at the finish line. He actually had a backfire on that run, something we didn't see earlier. But 2.74 seconds won't help Brickeye. That means that our four qualifiers in the Grand Slam shootout, of course, Larry Jarrett in the Locomotion, the hometown hitter at 1.91 seconds. Jim Weber, the record holder, at 196. Bubba Clements, the Texas racer, at 2.20 seconds, and chances are, and then the Ford-powered Thunderbird of Mark Watros at 2.30 seconds. Jerry, those are the four cars that will be battling it out for the championship. But we've still got Monster Truck's first round to go yet.
And that is something else. So stay with us for the first round of Monster Trucks coming up.
Arena in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We've completed qualifying for both the super modified mud racers and for the Monster Trucks. I'm Bret Kepner along with Jerry Devine. Jerry, we're ready for the first battle in this Monster Truck war.
That's right. It looks like we've got a single run. Rob Morris with four-wheel crazy coming up to the line.
That's right. Because of breakage during qualifying, Morris, as the low qualifier, gets to set the pace. He ran 3.40 seconds in his qualifying run. Let's see what the Ford can do.
Driver from Fort Worth, Texas. A decent run. Didn't take it real easy on it.
It was harder than I really anticipated. He's still being conservative. Obviously, with nobody in the other lane, he doesn't have to worry about winning the match. But remember, the quicker of each pair of vehicles gets lane choice for the next round. So Morris was concerned about that, and it looks like he probably did the job.
All right, next pair rolls to the starting line. This is first round of eliminations in the Monster Trucks.
The brand new Weapon 1 Chevrolet of Jerry Richmond, an ex-barefoot team driver, was extremely impressive in qualifying for a brand new ride, and this driver is not afraid to take chances, Jerry. He's one of the wilder guys out there.
Well, he'll be going against the Rocky Mountain Thunder with Nick Jackson behind the controls.
Jackson's Ford's been a consistent qualifier this year.
Weapon 1 takes the win.
That's true. The Chevrolet left about dead even with the Ford off the starting line. Here you see Nick Jackson trying to keep pace, but at this point, he was already watching the Chevrolet in the other lane drive away. Kind of a rough landing there for the Colorado Ford pilot as well. But Richmond, remembering qualifying, was doing his best to be aggressive. Here he lands literally on the last car and just takes a bounce over the finish line. We saw two completely different ways of handling this very short, very tricky race course, Jerry. There was one way of sheer aggressiveness in which you literally leap to the finish line using all your power in the first 30 feet. The other way was to land once and then nail the throttle. It'll be interesting in this match between two of the toughest points drivers in the business to see which technique they use.
John Pine with Bigfoot coming up in the lane closest to us. And John will be facing Excaliber, Chuck PAUKENS.
Remember that PAUKENS had problems during qualifying. He was only number 7 in this program. Bigfoot used a very conservative approach as the very first qualifier out, but you can bet both these drivers are going to turn extremely aggressive on this match. This is a do-or-die situation from a point standpoint.
Well, the fans here are cheering on their favorite. Looks like both drivers are ready to go. Let's watch it. Excaliber! Look out! Look out! Oh, that was close!
I'll tell you what, had it not been for a hole shot by the Chevy driver, I think the outcome would have been different. You talk aggressive. Look at the air that points leader John Pine got, literally landing almost right on the finish line. But you could see in the other lane, the Chevy driver was a half truck out in front, and that was all because of starting line reactions. PAUKENS got the hole shot. Extremely aggressive. Way, way, way up in the air. Landing past the finish line, Jerry. Look at this bounce up on 2 wheels. Look at PAUKENS in the cockpit being thrown all over inside there, trying to keep this thing straight as it goes into the mud berm. Man, aggressive does not even begin to describe that battle.